Alright, today I have one very important question for you. Was your chronic illness triggered by something, or have you been dealing with it since you were born? That's what we're going to be talking about today, and how you can tell the difference between the two, and how you need to approach your healing differently depending on which one you are. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Jordan Reasoner, and welcome to this week's episode of SCD Lifestyle TV, where each week I give you one simple actionable step that you can use towards a better digestion. So today we're talking about how did you get sick? And this was a very interesting thing that came about after we worked with Dr. Kalish, went through his functional medicine mentorship, and started seeing a lot of clients. This interesting pattern developed about how people got sick. Now typically, after seeing a couple hundred clients, it was pretty clear that there was two buckets of people that got sick. One, I call them trigger clients, and the other I call from birth clients. Now let me explain. Now a from birth client is very, very clear. As we start our case review and we start talking about their history, they immediately start talking about health issues they've had from birth. So immediately they've had chronic ear infections, chronic sinus infections, allergies as a kid, stomach problems as a kid, migraine headaches, that type of thing. And those issues carried on into their teens and 20s and 30s until at some point they developed severe digestive issues. And then they came to us. Okay, so those are from birth clients, and they're very, very obvious as I start talking to these people. They have multiple health problems from birth that lead up to this digestive issue. Okay, now the other type of client is called a trigger client. Now these clients are completely the opposite. As we start talking about their health history, it's pretty clear. They're like, well, I was really healthy as a kid. I didn't have any issues, no stomach problems. I never went to the doctor. I played a lot of sports. My mom always said I was healthy. I had an iron gut. A lot of clients tell me that. Okay, so these are the type of clients that were very healthy as a kid into their teens and 20s. Whatever age, at some point, a trigger event happened, and shortly thereafter, within 3 years or so, their health just totally fell apart. The wheels just came off. Now, this trigger event could be anything from, I've had multiple commercial airline pilots, right? So they enter into this world of commercial airline flying, which is very stressful, long hours, swing shifts, multiple time zones. Within a few years of donning that lifestyle, they get sick. Or I had a mother who lost her infant son from SIDS. I've also had people who've lost spouses or parents or siblings, people that have gone through health issues themselves. Okay, and the stress of the stressful job or the stress of an emotional abusive relationship, those types of things can trigger these trigger events. So it's very interesting as I work with clients and people discover how they got sick, whether they're a trigger client or a from birth client. So I want you to think about and write down, are you a from birth client? If we were to start talking about your health history, do you have a laundry list of issues that you had all the way from when you were born? If you do, you're likely a from birth client, and you can put yourself in that bucket. If you're not, if you're somebody who is pretty healthy, and then at some point, whether it was the stress of your degree that you got in college or university, or just the fact that you had a child, or any type of trigger event in your life that caused enough either physical or emotional or some type of stress, and it resulted in your illness, then you're probably a trigger client. And you can look at yourself as a trigger client. So take a moment now and try to decide, are you a from birth client or a trigger client? And then we'll stop the video and we'll pick it back up and we'll talk about what you need to do next. All right, so you figured out, hopefully, whether you're a from birth client or a trigger client. It should be pretty cut and dry if you look at your health history. Now that you know which one of these two you are, you have to work with a skilled practitioner to try to unravel the pieces of how you got sick, okay? So for example, if you're a trigger client, it's pretty clear if you can look at what type of event triggered your health from falling apart in the first place. Was it a lot of drinking and unhealthy living in college? Was it a really stressful job? Was it a really abusive relationship? Those types of things can give you an indication of how your health fell apart. So for example, if you were in a really abusive relationship for a few years and it was really, really stressful on you, then you want to look at your hormonal axis as well as your GI axis, right? Because if you're watching this video, you likely have GI problems. So it's likely that your hormonal axis and your GI axis are both crashed given the situation that you were in. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, if you're a from birth type of client and you've been sick since you can remember, then you need to look at things a little bit differently. You want to look at your whole system in general. So you'll want to look at your hormonal axis, your GI axis, your liver detoxification system, your brain chemistry. You're going to want to look at all 4 of those things and try to see which one's your limiting factor, which one's keeping you the sickest right now. So for example, if you're the type of person that can't tolerate a single drop of supplements, every supplement you try, you don't tolerate it, it makes you sick, you're stuck in your diet, you can't introduce a lot of foods, everything's just really stuck, and you feel like you can't do anything, you can't eat anything, you can't take any supplements. If you're that type of a client and you're from birth, then we want to look at your limiting factor as possibly being your liver detoxification system, because you can't actually tolerate any of these supplements you're trying to take that are going to help you get better. So you want to look at what's your limiting factor that you need to start unraveling first. So again, we're talking about our one simple actionable step today. Figure out which type of client you are. Are you a trigger client or are you a from birth client? And if you are, you need to work with a skilled practitioner to try to unravel how your health fell apart. And as you can see from this video, we approach those 2 things slightly differently depending on which type of client you are. So hopefully that helped you, and I look forward to seeing you next time on SCD Lifestyle TV, where each week we give you one simple actionable step that you can use towards better digestion. And if you feel like this video would help somebody, if you feel like you know somebody who's a from birth client, or you know somebody who's a trigger client, please share the love with them. Send the video over, let them know you watched it, and see what they think. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Now this week's simple actionable step is I want you to hang upside down while you sleep, like a bat, from the ceiling. You simply install a bar, hang upside down, and go to sleep. And this will completely reverse your health, I promise, and you can also drink acai berry juice while you're upside down hanging from the ceiling. I think I need a nice table over here with like a candle or like a nice lamp. I think I'm gonna do that next time. I'll have a nice little table. Next time you watch SCD Lifestyle TV, I'm gonna have a table here with a lamp, a nice lamp. I think that would really make these videos just way over the top. The secret sauce is that I have so much fun doing the outtakes that I just have to get the video over with so I can make the outtakes. And that's the funnest part of all, right? So I'm glad that we get to share this all together because I'm having a lot of fun. Hopefully you're having a lot of fun because I'm having a lot of fun.